And sometimes in my Twitter, I don't know if they're fake, but they'll pop up and I'm scared of them. I don't like this combination of humans and animals. The, the Matt Miller Real Podcast. The Matt Miller Real Podcast. Episode 5. I feel like I've been a little too serious on the podcast, and this is supposed to be a comedy, hilarious podcast, and I'm going to try to ramp up the comedy at this point. Anything I've said before, you can nullify it, not even remember it. I've changed my opinion on everything at this point. On everything I've said. New ideas I'm bringing to the table. New innovations. All right, so I don't know if you remember last time I was eating these crunchy chili onion peanuts, and I ate even more of them today. But at this point, they're mostly just a bunch of like seasoning on the bottom, and I think like the whole time you eat them, you know, they weren't that seasoned, but it was just because all the seasoning was at the bottom, and they could have been more seasoned nuts throughout if I had kind of shaken the bag more. So I kind of just ate slightly seasoned peanuts, but now they're getting extra seasoned. So that's been my peanut talk. How do you feel about peanuts? Peanuts is a controversial food. A lot of people allergic, can't be having fucking peanuts in their face or their nuts will explode. That's what happens with peanut allergy, right? Your balls, go kabroom, kabrank. Kabrank, indeed. What else has been going on? Damn, guys. There's been a lot of fun stuff going on, really. I mean, honestly, what can't we talk about at this point? Let me look around the room a little bit. I have a green screen. I've shot in a lot of videos in front of a green screen in my life. A lot of videos. I remember I shot one video. All you gotta do is look around the room, and that's how I get all my content for the podcast. In an apartment I have that I'd shared with other people. You can actually look it up. It was a video called "How to Put On Pants," and I thought it'd be funny if for some of it I'm just nude and I put like a big fake, censor mark over my dick. But I'm like, I gotta use, and we had a green screen in the living room, so I had to tell everyone in the house that like I gotta use the green screen in the living room. I gotta be naked when I shoot the video, so I had to warn everyone so they didn't stumble in, because it takes me a long time to shoot the video. Because I did just shoot it naked. I wanted to make sure it was accurate. So I shot it naked, and then I edited it while I worked, and I tried to hide the screen. Don't look at my dick hanging in my video. But you just got to edit your content whenever you can. If you have a day job, and your content contains your dick just dangling, that's when you're editing it. You just kind of got to make a little small editing window so when they walk by, they're like, oh, he's probably editing something else. It couldn't possibly be his tiny little dick. I remember I made this other like vlog video when I did a vlogging for, like a minute, like a few 3, 4, 5 episodes where I was shaving, and then like my coworker's like, "What the fuck? What, you're editing like you just shirtless?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a shaving video." And I'm like, "Damn, I do edit fucking weird videos on the job." And we're back. So yeah, in the video jobs that I've had, they've been pretty. I've had some pretty silly times. But now I don't do any of that stuff. Now all my editing is done at my home. I can edit all day. All right, I didn't come back with something good to say, but now we're back in the riff. Back in the riff. I got my glasses over here on the desk, and I'm picking them up, and I'm going to put them on my face. Okay, guys. So this may be a weird way to for me to get interesting topics, but I'm watching a video of these hyenas attack this attack this hippo, and it's not funny. I don't like what they're doing to the hippo. I hope the hippo gets out of it. It's not looking good. I'm gonna stop watching that. That's not. I'm not even gonna show that. I'm just scrolling through the old social media, see what I got that's interesting on here. Oh, I'm being sold men's underwear. No, actually, are these underwear? What kind of these? No, these are like fucking. I don't even know. Are these just little pants you can wear? All right, what video is this? Oh, a man with a dog. Oh no, he's hitting the dog and the dog's attacking the guy. I can't show any of these videos. These are very upsetting. It's an upsetting world out there. What else we got going on here? We got a bunch of people. Oreo, there's an Oreo ad. They're bumping into each other. I feel like I'm really stretching on this episode. What life story can we talk about today? One time when I was in high school, we used to ghost ride a few times. I had a Ford Explorer. And we'd walk alongside the car on the driver's side window for fun. Not on the driver's side window, out the driver's side door. You know, it's fun when you go into, like, if there's like an attractive lady's picture online and all the comments from all the guys like, "Oh, how hot. Oh, I just want to fuck you. Oh, you're the hottest lady ever. I just want to throw butter on your butt and blowtorch it so it melts down your fucking asshole over your ass, and then it freezes over your ass, and then there's a little like butt anus indentation in the butter, and I take it because we keep it in a freezer. Well, you have to be in the freezer too while it's attaining the shape, and yeah, and then I'm gonna eat it. That's how hot you are. There's just all these guys, they're like, "Oh, you're so hot. I'm gonna buy a fucking gun and I'm gonna start shooting it into the air and yelling." All right, that one I wasn't prepared for the lines. Sometimes I get into the riff and then I'm like, I don't even want to say words. I just want to make noises. I just want to make the idea of what the joke might be. Oh, that lady's so hot. I just want to rip my balls off and throw them into her fucking the back of her car, and then overnight that's gonna make that thing stink. That's how hot she is. But they're like, "Oh, beautiful. Oh, you're so sexy, you fucking shithead. Oh, fucking bitch, you're the hottest slut there is. Hey, fucking cunt, you're such a hot bitch slut." Is this in the first 5 minutes? I can't resist just saying all the language when I do a podcast, but you gotta say every bit of language you got. If you got a little bit of language, you gotta say a lot of bit of language. And that's just how I've always lived my life, with maximum language, minimum language barriers. If you got language barriers, you're a language terrier, and I do enjoy terriers as dogs. I grew up with miniature schnauzers, right? And okay, it's nuts part 2. So we got buffalo style seasoned almonds right here. Net weight 8 ounces, 227 grams. Now that's a lot of grams if you're a pussy. And these are good. These Trader Joe buffalo style seasoned almonds. Let me read right out of the ingredients on these. All right, so it's got roasted almonds, buffalo style seasoning, vinegar, powder, red pepper, sea salt, garlic powder. What else has it got? Oleariasin, capsaicin, paprika. I feel like these things will give you cancer. Cream powder, milk, canola oil, and sea salt. But what the fuck is this capsicum paprika? What's a cat? I'm never gonna look any of this up, but that's just what's in this shit. And And I hope you always wondered that. Like maybe have you ever been in a Trader Joe's? Have you ever been in Trader Joe's and looked at the various items and seen the buffalo style seasoned almonds and pondered to yourself, "Huh, I wonder what the ingredients are." But you never gain the courage to lift a bag up and put it to your face and analyze the ingredients. I'm telling you the ingredients. Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's not. This isn't like fucking, perfect. It's not a perfect podcast, but it is a wonderful podcast. Have you guys ever had alligator? It's not that great. It's not that great. I mean, you maybe in your neck of the woods, alligator's good, but it's not great. I'm not a huge fan of it. I've got it in New Orleans a few times. A few times I got a little fucking alligator. Not a big guy. I've blacked out a lot in New Orleans, which is fun. The first time I went to New Orleans, I was doing comedy there, and I remember I did a show and I was like being very cheap. Well, before the show, I was just buying little things of booze, And I went to go eat at Crystal. You ever go to Crystal in New Orleans? The little mini like White Castle burgers, and I got whatever like burgers and fries and a drink, and I was just pouring fucking rum into the drink. And then I had that thing, and then I think I poured rum into like just a soda. I just bought like a diet soda, and they're like, because there's so many drinks being walked around there, they're like, you can't bring that in here. And I'm like, no, this is a closed diet soda. And they're like, oh, okay, you can come in. So then I just chugged that in the bathroom. This is when I was just drinking a bunch, and I was just very cheap, and I just got fucking, yeah, just carried around booze like that. And then I performed, and I did okay with some people. Other people did not like my act, which is something that happens a lot. But now everyone loves it, so I'm probably the best comedian. And yeah, and then I blacked out. Did I black out that night? Blacked out the next night, and I met comedy people who I know more today than I knew then, but I met them originally blackout, and I like didn't remember. I told them about my DUI and other aspects of my life. Just blacking out new lands. It's just a life I have lived. And then there was like this like gas station convenience store that sold like, I'm saying like way too much. That sold catfish, fried catfish at 3 a.m. And there was a huge line, but they sold $1 a piece. So I went and got it, and I munched that down. And this is when I was staying in this like $22, maybe it was 30, 20, whatever, $25, who knows the number, Airbnb. That was a room with 4 beds and a divider in the middle. And did I already tell this story on the new podcast? But I remember I got back real drunk, and there was just this like Asian kid on the I don't know where in Asia, but he had a look to him that was Asian. So yeah, so then he looked through an opening in the divider, and this is how he opened up to first time meeting me. He said, "Hey, are you gay?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Hey, can I give you head?" And I was like, "What was the point of the first question?" And that is something that happened while I was in New Orleans. I know I seemed like I did that voice crazy. I do that joke, on stage sometimes. So watch out if you see me. I might just do it again. So yeah, nothing but fun for me all the time is the gist of this podcast. I feel like I've rambled on about a lot of meaninglessness. Now we need to get serious about laughs. Maybe I should dive into a current event. I wish I had one, like a real biggie that someone would like to hear my opinion on. If you do, just send something to my Instagram at Matt Miller Real. Send me something juicy, and maybe I'll discuss it, how I feel. I watched this whole video on AI while I was cooking. What was I cooking? Tacos, and I took none of it. It talked about the chess one, the famous chess one, Would the AI beat the person in chess? Talked about the one. There was some other maybe Chinese game where you move around a ball. It was like giant Chinese checkers, except even more checkering. And they're like the AI did a move no one thought could be possible because it was a weird move, but it turned out to be the right move. It's like no one realized you should do this move. It's one specific move in this big game, this big Chinese game of moving around a ball. They're like, you couldn't possibly do that move during this Chinese game. And it turns out you can. With AI, AI did the move. And it changed the Chinese game for everyone. But I don't know what the game is, and it's possibly not Chinese. But I didn't really learn anything from that AI video. I don't know why the bit there was just saying Chinese game. I remember one time. I just remember times as a kid, as a main of the podcast. There was a teacher. We watched like the presidential address or whatever the fuck. I don't even know at this point. How old am I? I don't know anything about what's going on. I gotta adjust this camera. And he asked what you heard that was interesting. And I remember on the address, he talked about the president at the time. I don't even remember who it was. Who would it have been? Was it JB? George Busham's? George Busham's Junies? He was like talking about ending human animal hybrids, and I'm like, I didn't even know there were human animal hybrids. I didn't know that was something people are like actually working on in places. And sometimes in my Twitter, I don't know if they're fake, but they'll pop up and I'm scared of them. I don't like this combination of humans and animals. Let's not shit where we eat, okay? Let's not have our human asses shit where the food out of the cow or whatever you're mixing with eat. But he talked about it in the presidential address, so it is going on. Whether you like it or not, human animal hybrids is happening. Right now they're hybridizing them. But like what would be the reason to create little like human slaves that are animals that are also human, you know? Seems a little fishy there. What the fuck is going on? Human animal hybrids? What's next? Animal human fucking what's another synonym for hybrid? Animal human combustibodies? It's not just that they combust into each other, combustibodies. This doesn't even make sense. This podcast, this whole thing's been a real like pull of the finger, square of the hair. You know that saying, pull of the finger, square of the hair? It's not a saying. I just made it up. That's just how quick I am to the jump. Oh, you know what I want to do? I need to record the ending to the podcast. I know we're on episode 5 and you've heard the ending, but I need a better take of it. I think it's like, it's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. Matt Miller. I can't even say my own fucking name. This is where I messed up on the podcast thing before. I know you're just hearing me say it now, but I said it's like Matt Riller was like my best thing. I can't go, it's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. The Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. All right, was that last one good? It was too short, right? I need to go like, it's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. Maybe that's good. Maybe I'll try one of those. Maybe the first one was good. I'm subjecting you to I'm showing you behind the curtain of the art. This isn't all just one take Frank, you know? I'm spending lots of time editing, and I don't have to justify this to you. I think all my childhood trauma has made me into an adult that feels like he has to justify himself to other people. It's been all my trauma when I was a young boy that's turned me into this needing to feel or like needing to like prove something or like be like give reasons why. I used to I wore braces. That's another fun fact about me. I had an old brace face to straighten my teeth out. But if you look, the top looked good. The top this one used to be all bent to rube, but the bottom, they're a little uppy dooley. And it's funny that all our teeth are so different from one another. Hmm? You ever think about how that is? That's the way they identify bodies with the teeth. They're like, oh, they know what's going on in your mouth. Everyone's mouth is so different. We have like mouths that are like snowflakes. Everyone's a little different. You look into a mouth and you're looking into something new. If you're looking into a new mouth, it's always new. Like, because once you start getting little jibber jabbers in your teeth, I got like a tooth made out of cubic zirconium. Don't come and try to rob me in my cubic zirconium tooth, because my tooth fell out one time when I was biting on an old fucking chicken wing. You know how dogs can't eat chicken? I can't eat chicken. Knocks my tooth the hell right out of there. And I remember we were to like trim it down, and I don't like when foreign objects are touching me, like so like my tooth knew it wasn't a tooth down there, so he kept like trimming. It was a lady, so lady, let's just call her Butter, Mrs. Butter, and she was trimming it down, and I didn't like that it was touching my tooth, so I trimmed it down so much it like barely touches my tooth, and it's just interesting. It's just an interesting little stump back there. That's a fun fact about me. I don't know. I'm not sure if I should reveal that, but I don't think that's really, you can't like steal my identity by identifying. I don't even know if it was which side of the mouth it is on right now. I don't even remember at this point. I do remember I was, yeah, munching on some nice, they were kind of like some like hot and sour kind of fucking chicken wings. Fucking popped right out. I was like, owie. Actually, it didn't really hurt that much. I think the most teeth I've lost at one point was when I was real young, at like a child birthday party at like a roller rink. I lost like maybe two or three teeth just fell out of my face while I was munching on the most sugar intense fucking candy. Just losing teeth on the road at a party. Those were the times, just as a young boy losing teeth. I remember we won. I remember we won like all these fucking tickets, and we gave it to the guy, and he just threw it on the ground, and we're like, "How many points do we got?" And he's like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "What? You're trying to take advantage of us young boys by not counting all these tickets?" I don't even remember what we won, but I just felt like the guy was harassing us. And frankly, if I remember that place right now, I would go there, and if I would be like, "Do you remember this guy?" And be like, "I want to give him a word of my mouth." They said, "That wasn't very nice the way you treated me as a young boy," and then I'll leave, is what I would do. Yeah, he just took the tickets, threw them on the ground, didn't count them, and then like just gave us X amount of points without verifying it. And me as an OCD young boy, remembering it to this day, how many fucking tickets were there, you idiot? You big dumb working at place moron. I don't even know what machines we were using to win the tickets. Maybe some ball into fucking hole machines. This was at, yeah, the roller rink had the fucking arcade. If this didn't make sense, I always have to lay it out for you. Oh, child times. When's the last time you went bowling? I think the last time, no, I went bowling. When was the last time I went bowling? I think the last time I went bowling was on a bowling date. Since then, have I just gone to the old bowling time? I can't think of it. You ever do candlepin bowling? Do you guys live in New England? Candlepin, just the tiny pins. I'm just gonna keep getting lower and lower. Just the tiny pins and the little fucking cannonball ball candlepin, canapin, and you just knock over the little pins onto the fucking ground. You ever do that shit, buckos? I'm really laying it out on this episode. I feel like I'm presenting a lot of good information. How do you feel about Halliburton? They make weapons and stuff. How do you feel about Raytheon? I used to have a father that worked for Raytheon, helping make missiles. just making missiles to kill people. I remember one time he brought in a diamond to show that like diamonds can cut anything, but the only thing that can cut a diamond is another diamond.
For context, he brought the diamonds in for a school science fair.
And then I remember that like the diamonds got lost. Maybe somebody just stole the diamonds. Yeah, like we couldn't find them. And my dad was like, it'll be fine. I think because we would like cut ice with the fucking diamond, or yeah, we'd use the diamond to cut the other diamond. Damn, my dad like created this whole diamond experiment for me, and then I think someone just stole the diamonds, and then I remember being there like late, looking under the tables, trying to find the diamonds. I mean, I kind of barely remember this. And they may have been fake diamonds. So they maybe not have been worth like a ton of money then if they were fake, because he was like making diamonds. But it was still silly. If I remember, yeah, like we lost the diamonds. My parents would do my fucking schoolwork some of the times as kids. I remember we had to make one time um, like a paper mache dinosaur for our dinosaur thing, and I wanted to make a red raptor because I like Jurassic Park. So I was like, oh, red raptor. That's what they say. But it turns out it was Velociraptor. They just called it Red Raptor at one point in the movie. But like, yeah, my parents just fucking did that, and I barely had access to helping. And you know, I wanted to help in my own project. Then there was another thing where we had to make like a big history board. That was like a big school thing. A history. I don't even know what my first history board was about because my mom was a big influence in making it, and it looked very visually appealing. It was very stylistic and well put together. But I don't know if you know it had the substance. But I remember one grade, yeah, my parents basically made the board for me, and I got a good grade. And then the next year, I'm like, I'm gonna make it, and I do remember it was about fucking John Brown and something to do with slaves, at least. And then you know something about abolitionist stuff, maybe, or maybe he was a president, or I don't know. But at least I remember a little bit. And I made in my poster board was kind of not as artistically appealing, but you know, it was full of substance and information. And I got a worse grade on this. So I remember that. That's why, you know, you see, now I'm just all substance. This podcast, I've had so many in-depth talks into many things. I think at one point I was just talking about terriers, but nothing informative about terriers. But now, yeah, I just keep staying down that road of just bringing substance over style, you know. Now that I'm an adult, taking substances, living a substance life, living substance free. What's your choice? This has been the Matt Miller Real Podcast.
It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast. It's the Matt Miller Real Podcast.